Good evening, guys, and welcome back to GKP Live with myself and us. This week, Good evening, guys, and welcome back to. I'll mute that one. This week there might not be any Mick Lawson. He actually is away on holiday, and I'm hoping he's having a fantastic time. I don't expect him to come, but if he does, we'll make him feel welcome and we'll introduce him into the show as we always do. But I expect him to be having a good time with his wife and kids while he's away on holiday. You had a good week, Daz? Everything going good?
Yeah. All going good. Yeah, no problems. So
no problems as of yet.
Sorry?
I said no problems up to press. All going good, yeah?
All going good, yeah.
We've got hopefully a possibility of somebody else joining us later on. If they do, what I will be doing is I will be sticking in the link for anybody else that might like to join us. But until such time, we'll be right back after this.
Yeah, she is. This would have, if I were going to pick this show, there you go, guys. I would have picked that one. Still got a lot more up to come. Nice patterning, nice separation. Look at that, beautiful fish. And again, check this out, guys. This is something else. That is beautiful. Absolutely stunning. Yeah. Nice wild common trout coming up for a piece of bread. Perfect. Let's have a look at his koi facility again and look at this full cherry blossom. Absolutely beautiful. I'm going to get from the other side so we've got the sun behind us so that you can see this, but this is absolutely stunning. Yeah, it is. Without further ado, I'll get us inside, have a look round, and let you see what you think. Catches in it. In this whole complex, the fish are stunning. Absolutely beautiful. One bat after another. Really nice for Jackie there.
There we go. I thought we'd just put the intro back on again for everybody to have a quick look at that. I've been forgetting to play that the last couple of weeks, and I will be doing a little bit more work with it. I will be doing a little bit more editing on it and seeing if we can get some better quality. We have a couple of messages coming in. First off the bat, we have hi gents from me and Ben in Wales and our jollies. Oh, I wish.
All right, Ben.
I really do wish. Hi, Laura. Hi, Ben. I hope you're having a nice time and enjoying it. Hope the weather's been good for you. We got this other one from Good Evening All from GKP. And hello, guys and all from David Cook. Hiya, David. Hope you're doing good, mate.
Evening, David.
Well, we've got a couple of topics that we want to have a chat about. And hopefully, like I said earlier on, hopefully then we'll have a couple more people that might be joining us later on. But I'm going to see what we just roll with this evening. There are a couple, like I said, a couple that we want to touch base on. And the first one being from me, which is a question which came in from one of my Facebook group members asking about, he said, it may sound like a silly question, and it doesn't at all. It's not a silly question in any way, shape or form to be asking how much air you should have in your pond. Now, I did say before I go any further. Graham Taylor, evening chaps. Good evening, Graham. Hope you're good.
Evening, Graham.
We've got an evening from Gary. Gary, how's it going, Gary? Hope you're good, mate. Whenever you've got airflow into your pond, it's never enough. And the main reason being is that no matter what we do, whether we add air to our filtration system, the nitrifying bacteria or the nitrifying cycle or nitrify, is that the right word?
Yeah, it's the nitrogen cycle, isn't it?
The nitrogen cycle. The nitrogen cycle consumes a lot of oxygen. So within your moving beds, within any area where you've got it moving and bubbling around, it does use a great deal of oxygen to do what it's doing when it's breaking down your ammonia, nitrite, nitrate. I think that's the right way around. And if I'm not, I know there's going to be a guy that's going to give me a bit of a telling off again for getting it the wrong way around if it is. But honestly, you can never have too much. If you've got too much so that you can't really see your fish, you can always turn it down, and you can always reduce it if you're using air pumps with the exhaust valve where they have several turn-off little taps like there is on my filter system itself. You can shut down any of those whenever you want, and you can view your fish, do whatever you're doing, and then turn them back up again as when needed. Main thing being is obviously when it's a hot summer day, you want to be able to give that a little bit more oxygen if you can. Personally, myself, I have a 50 litre per minute in the pond, and I have a 60 litre per minute, or 60 litre per hour, sorry, in the pond, 51, and a 60 litres per hour in the filter house into the filtration barrels. 2 areas of those are used for cleaning purposes, and 1 is continuously running in the moving bed. So as much as you can would be the best answer I would like to give to anybody, because hot temperatures, when you get in warmer water conditions, the oxygen saturation levels deplete so much, so quick, so fast in higher temperatures that it gets to a point where your fish can end up in a lot of trouble. And if you're out for the day and you're not there, you can soon come back home to fish either struggling, if not already, succumb to the lack of oxygen. So the other thing is, when your oxygen levels are in your pond, late on an evening, the algae comes to life and starts to produce and bloom and produce itself more. And it also starves the pond of its oxygen levels in the late hours of the night. Yeah. So those, when you've had a red hot day,
CO2.
Yeah, it uses a lot of the CO2 up in the water. And then before you know it, you end up in a great, horrible mess.
It produces oxygen in the day, and then at night it produces CO2.
Yeah. So you end up with the bloom can, you know, what's the term? Is there a proper word for it anyway?
Deoxidation.
No, I'm saying when you get the algae blooms, it strips everything out of your pond, and before you know it, you can.
Yeah, it just causes like a crash, doesn't it?
Yeah. So the answer being, and I did say to the gentleman that I spoke to on Facebook, the answer being basically is as much as you can afford.
Yeah.
If you can afford a good pump and you can put more in there than what's necessary, it's always going to be useful as and when you can in the times when needed, height of summer, treatment times, or, you know, let's say, for example, your fish have started spawning and you've got to be out for a day and you're not going to be back. You can bang that extra air in to make sure that there's more air in there for them and that there's, you know, no problems. Exactly.
It's like you say, Gaz, you can't put too much in.
No, you can't.
The thing is, as well, the more oxygen there is dissolved in the water, the better and faster your fish will grow.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because it has been proven, hasn't it? The more circulation of air, the more the fish. There will be the odd. I'm not making excuses, guys. There will be the odd person back and forth throughout this live coming in and out, and that is purely because the new, as I've stated, the new GKP mascot He's a little pup and wakes up quite regularly after little power naps and then tearing around the living room and having fun and playing, but he needs to go out quite regularly. So there will be a few people, and hopefully at some point we'll see if we can have a little look at him, and when he comes back in, we'll have a introduction to everybody that's out there and watching. But yeah, that was, for me, that was one of the main things that well, not the main things, but one of the things that I wanted to touch on. But it's all, I think he said it was, I think he said it was 1,000 gallons, 1,000-gallon pond. But it's all right, all of us or anybody out there saying, oh, I think you should have this, or you should have that, you should have the other. You build to your own budget. If you can afford it and you can have it in there, then, you know, get it in and use it as much as you can. But everybody's different. Not all of us can have the massive, great big show ponds. Not everybody can always have, you know, the best of the best. But so my advice is give them the best you can afford. And if you can afford enough and put in a decent size one, mate, go with that. That's where to start first of all. Because
if you've got multiple outlets from the air, don't leave them switched off. Have all of them going into the pond.
Yeah, 100%. And as we spoke about, as well as you can always use the forgot the name, the Ventura effect as well. Any form of water that you've got returning back to your pond, you can always drill a small hole in there, add a little bit of pipe, and that will draw air into the pipe as it's pulling through, and you can have that blasting straight back in. There are loads of videos out there on how to make a Ventura, and they are a fantastic addition to anybody's pond. So really well worth looking into. I think even Vince has made one on one of his videos. So Vince at Twisted Coin, check out his channel. I'm sure he's done one before. If not, there will be. Just type it in, Ventura effect, because there are loads of videos out there for doing it. We'll have a quick catch up with the comments. We've got Keith and Paula's pond build. Good evening, Keith and Paula.
Evening.
Yes, Paula. We was watching the other day. We noticed that you was multitasking. What you didn't show us at the end of it was the pie. Where was the pie? We didn't get the pie. She'll know what I'm talking about, and everybody else will watch the video. Cops is Koi chatting bubbles. Hello all. How you doing, Cops? I hope you're good, mate. Up north, Koi Pond. Hi, everyone. Congratulations, mate. Big congratulations to Simon, who's just reached his 1,000 subscribers. Well done, bud.
Yeah, well done.
And now you can join the 1,000 subscribers club, Another message from Laura Smith. Blasting as much as possible blasting as much as possible is my motto. Yeah, 100%. Definitely. If you can get that much air in as you can, because at the end of the day, you can never ever have too much. David Cook says, please press the like, guys. Yeah, thank you very much, David. I appreciate that. If you could do me a huge favor, guys, and hit that like. And the main reason being is, one, it's free. It costs you nothing. Two, if you're enjoying it and you're liking it, why the hell not? Free, it'll help my channel grow. And I would like to get this channel growing. I'm a long way off of the 1,000 subscribers. I would very much like to get myself there as well. And I personally don't see as there's any real reason as to why I shouldn't be making my way up there. If anybody can tell me,
you deserve it, mate.
Please stick me some comments in. I could bang out a few more videos, but I think the koi market, the YouTube market is already saturated with the generic videos being copied one after another after another. What I'd like to do is keep it as what I'm doing and what I'm up to. So fingers crossed, I'll get a few more. And if I don't, well, like I said, it's steady progression for me. I'm happy with where it's going. It's certainly grown from what it was, which was, the beginning was 0. So it's all good. Pond Life, good evening all. How you doing, mate? Hope you're well. Mike here. Evening, Gaz. Evening, Daz. The Red Top Tuesday.
You're right, Mike.
Plug. Yeah, there we go.
Nice.
They're,
very nice.
I'll show you this one. I went for the. It's still even got the tags on. We'll get that one. We'll get that one removed. I went for the nice red hoodie as well.
Yes.
With the big logo on the back. And we also have, in fact, if anybody's actually interested, I don't know if you are, whether you would be, we also have, this one's actually Daz's.
Yeah.
We also have one in the grey.
Match my hair.
Sorry, mate. Shouldn't be laughing. I can laugh actually because
All right.
I'm quite quickly catching you up there, mate. So it's not a bad thing. We have one in there for Jeff. We also have another one in there. Sorry, a red one in there for Jeff. We have another one in there for grey for Daz, and we will be getting another one ordered for Nick Lawson as well. Just waiting for him to be home, obviously, for a delivery. But yeah, if anybody's interested, let me know and give me your sizes. We can get one ordered. If anybody wants to be sporting some GKP merch and running around your local stores and giving me a little bit of a plug and a little bit of why the hell not? If anybody wants to know, comments in the video after or wherever you, if you're interested. My email address and the rest of it, it's all there. It's on my About Me on Facebook. If anybody's interested, anybody wants one, feel free. You can have them customized with any form of information or added extra bits underneath or on the back. So you could have all else that you want to put in on there too. Carol Ossett. Hi, guys. Daz.
Hi, Carol.
Everyone who's here. Hello, Carol. Hope you're well. I haven't watched the video yet. I'm hoping that there's been some improvements with, was it snowy? Your, now let me get this right. Let's see, my Shurumuji, I think. I hope there's some improvements. I hope it's feeling a bit better. Keith and Paula, haha, it was amazing, guys. Yeah, but we didn't get to see the amazingness. We would have loved to have seen the pie. I mean, perhaps maybe you can multitask, but not quite as good as what you thought. You couldn't multitask, show us a pie, and film the pond and everything else. Oh, and for a second and all, when you picked the glass up, I thought, well, she's got a cheeky glass of rosé there. But no, it was gin, pink gin. Very nice. My wife likes some of that too. Sai says, thank you, Gaz, glasses and face. Life around the koi pond. Hey up, guys.
Right,
well. Just switched on. I've been unloading the van with 18 sheets of 18mm ply from work. £10 a sheet. Happy days, man. Well, happy days, mate. That's you wanted to you should have grabbed another 18, mate, and sold them on. You could have made a nice tidy profit on that. At 10 quid a sheet, you can't go wrong at all.
Right.
Yeah. Is that Far Eastern ply or is it shuttering ply, mate? Because if it's shuttering ply, it's still way a lot more than that in merchants anyway, for sure. Yeah. If you can give a shout out for me so people can advise on my recent video today, I'm so sorry, Carol, because I was just I hadn't realised I hadn't put the live on, as in placed the ad out there, because I'll be honest with you, I came in, I sat down on the sofa and I had myself a little power nap because these 5:30 starts in the morning to get up with this little pup. Yeah, have been hard work and I'm proper struggling. He's doing good. He's doing really good, to be fair. He's probably one of the best, and I will say this, he's probably one of the best pups I think we've ever had at such a young age for being clean through the night.
Yeah.
Clever.
Same
beyond belief.
Yeah. No accidents at all.
Yeah, no accidents, nothing. He's been, don't get me wrong, there's been the odd little, if he's come to the door to go out, he's coming and telling us he wants to go out. And if we just haven't been quick enough, he might have, had a 10 pence size piece little tinkle where you think, oh, that's me. That's not him. That's us just not reacting fast enough. But then 9 times out of 10, he's doing brilliant. If anybody's thinking about getting a pup, make sure you've got somebody at home at all times so that somebody can be there. But the main one being is, I would say, and what the vets have told my wife today, he is, and they are, a very clever breed. And I'm gobsmacked. He's fetching a ball already. And bearing in mind, he's 9 weeks old on Sunday. He'll fetch a ball. He doesn't always bring it back every time. He might wander off with it to sit down and give it a chew, but he will retrieve the ball and come back to you with it. He'll sit down when you tell him to on command, and he'll lay down when you tell him to on command. At 9 weeks old, that's pretty damn good. He's clued up on breakfast. He knows when his food, where his food is, when his food is, what he's getting, what he's eating. He's doing really well, and he's already put on several pounds since we brought him home. So he's had his first vaccination today. His second vaccination is due on the 25th of this month. Hopefully, all being well, if the vets say we can, he will be with me at the Newark.
Yeah, cool.
But it depends whether or not. If the vets say no, he needs 1 week after his vaccination, and then he can do anything or go anywhere, then he'll be having to stay at home. But I want to make sure he's good. Yeah. I'm sorry, Carol, to touch back onto your comment there. I haven't seen it, so I will watch. If I can give you any advice, we'll all try to help as much as we can if possible. We've got hi, Carol. So yeah, first of all, let's go back to this. Let's go back to Carol's comment there. Let's get this up here. Go to channel. Copy that. Drop that in. Paste that in there. If you could all do me a favor, guys, at some point, obviously, if you want to go now and do it now, feel free. If it helps Carol out, I haven't got a problem with that at all. Click on that link, have a look at Carol's video, and if we can help, give her a little bit of information so that she can have a look at Snowy. I got it right. At least I got it right, the name. I think it's a Shuro Muji that's got a couple of issues, and she's trying to see if she can get it rectified. So let's help where we can. And whilst you're there, like, share, subscribe. Hit that thumbs up and ring the bell for all notifications. Let's see if we can get Carol up a couple more subscribers as well. That'd be smashing if you could, guys. Right. We've got a hi, Carol, there from Copsy's Koi Chatting Bubbles. Hi, Copsy. Hope you are well, from Carol. Kevin Paula's Pond. I had too much. Yeah, I saw the confession at the end. I had too much gin to film the finished pie. Look out for the apple and blackberry crumble. That's probably one of my favourites.
That'd be nice. Yeah.
Is that? I think we'll keep his eye out for that one. You've got to have custard with it though, 100%. Yeah. It's no good without custard, and it wants to be a little tart to it, a bit. Yeah. So it makes your eyes and your ears
twitch.
Yeah, I love that, mate. Mike Bass, evening all. A bit late. As I had to scrape off one of my kaku that's been clamped finned at the bottom for some of the time. Any signs about, mate? Did you find out? Did you let me guess? I'm going to go trick. That was my prediction. Kevin Paula, I think we are following Carol, but we'll double check after this. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. He's a lovely dog. He is. He is. He's a cheeky little soul. I've lost the flowers off of most of my plants in around the garden where he's grabbed them, pulled them off.
Just go back to the garden.
Yeah, the garden's taken a beating already. The lawn has been trimmed quite. I've trimmed it again because he kept going around and pulling lumps out of it. But that's just what JD used to do, same thing. So there you go. There's Carol's link. If you could all do me a favour, swing by, give her a subscription, help her out with this fish. If there's anything we can give her some advice on. Life around the koi pond. Far Eastern, Jesus, that's well good, man. That's like 70, 80 quid a sheet nearly now. Far Eastern 18 mil. Far Eastern fly. Everybody needs some Far Eastern fly. Life around the koi pond has got, unless they've obviously got a major project that he's doing with it, that'd make a decent filter house, mate, because that stuff is it's not waterproof, but it's certainly water protected. Water boil proof, isn't it? WBP. Yeah. Mike Bass, I seen Quinny Koi climb down regarding making their koi food. Definitely Coppens repackaged. Oh.
Ah.
Oh. Well.
Interesting.
Well, there is the other thing and all, isn't there? There was also a little thing that was shared last night on Facebook. Quinny's Koi's 70% shareholder has announced that they He's been removed from this, that, and the other, and he's going to make this statement before it gets taken off and removed, or possibly gets removed. Due to unforeseen circumstances, him and 2 other people can no longer communicate as needs be, and they are shutting down. So let's watch this space and see if it does. I mean, I'd be gutted to see such a, big company and business like that go down in that shape or form. But
a big hole in the market.
Yeah, it will be a big hole. But wherever there's a big hole, it means it can be filled by smaller entities. So
exactly.
Get yourself on over to Daz's Coffee.
Every cloud has a silver lining.
That's it, yeah. Well, it does, though, mate. Wherever one fails, it always gives the opportunity. It's like the great big trees in the middle of Amazon rainforest. When one of those big ones fall, it's a mass race for all the rest to get to fill that canopy space. So
it lets the sunlight in.
That's the one. I'll fetch some dog biscuits to the show. Thank you very much, Carol. He's proper clued up with that, though. Treats, rattles.
Oh, yeah.
I had a packet of crisps before we started this. He came in here, and he literally just come and sat straight outside of me. So I think he's, and his nose is proper. You can smell it from.
Yeah.
I mean, Staffies are good dogs, but they don't tend to be the brightest. They are a bit daft. They're a bit dipsy. They're very, very loyal, but they don't really use the nose a great deal in that sense. But that little fella has been round sniffing out absolutely everything. He's going all over the place with nose down to the ground, constantly sniffing everything. And if you open something in one room, he's like, you can see him. He come to the doorway, and I'm sat there eating me tea, watching a bit of something on the internet, and he's there outside of me. You can see his nose going like crazy.
Well, it's like Wonka for dogs, isn't it? The nose.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So like Carol says, she'll fetch him some biscuits to the show. Thank you very much. Hopefully, fingers crossed, he can come. But my intentions are, wherever I go to Daz's Koi Farm, you'll be seeing a lot of him, because years ago when I had my collie went everywhere with me. Now, both for Staffies, they didn't like car travel. They was sick quite a lot, and they weren't comfortable with the ride. You could tell it traumatized them. They just did not like it one bit. So we're trying to do as much whizzing about and forwards with a pup to my daughters and back and forth, taking him out in card so he's get used to it. Because I don't want this dog to be like that, because I want the dog to be like the collie, to go absolutely everywhere. Wherever I went before, the collie used to come with us. So I want this dog to be able to do the same. Truly do want it to be a part of my show with what we're doing and my family and everything else that everybody else gets involved in. I want us all to be able to get out there like we used to do. Guys, I think Carol's fish is acidity in the water. It looks like the skin is pink like sunburn.
Right.
And you think that's from acidity in the water. If it was acidity in the water, it would be affecting all the fish, because she has carcous, which are white, and they would be showing it up on the same patch, same place. Acidity just doesn't affect one; it affects all, doesn't it? It's if there's a quality issue in the water, 9 times out of 10, you'll have one fish that will show symptoms, but the majority of them start to show the symptoms if it's something like acidity levels in your water. Sunburn, quite possible.
Yeah.
Could be. Sorry, Daz, I missed what you said there, mate.
Is it worth doing a pH test just to be on the safe side?
Yeah, worth. I mean, I'm guessing, Carol, you've checked all your parameters and everything that way is good. If not, start there. That's got to be your main thing. Check your parameters, make sure everything's good. But it could also, I mean, there's so many people out there a little of a late that are having biological issues in the pond. Yeah. And it's something that will lead us into his next topic. It's unbelievable. There are so many people out there that have got so many problems, whether it be ulcers, fin rot, issues where mouth rot, where your fish are just coming up in patches and rashes and sores. And it seems to be affecting a heck of a lot of people. Now, I personally know of a few. We've been working on one of them quite intensely. We know others that have lost fish through friends of friends, through the same principle, same reason. And me and my dad were just sat talking about this prior to us coming in. And one thing we've just found out is, was it Aquaflavin?
Yes.
Aquaflavin treatment. Instead of it having 5% active ingredient,
down to 1%.
Now being dropped to 1% active ingredient. And we're all wondering why, when we treat with products, they're not working. Well, they're not working because they're reducing the amount that's going in there, and the products that were once as they were 12 months ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, no longer are as good as what they was. Now,
the
you run
EU,
the risk. Well,
I think it's due to the EU changing the
the levels are allowed to be used.
In case back into the aquatic environment, this is the problem. You just feel nothing seems to work.
So what do you do? What's your alternative? Your alternative then to treat your pond and overdose it so that you get the effect that you require by putting more in than what you really should, which again goes against guidance, goes against rules, and if all goes wrong, it's on your own head. But you can't be stuck in a position where
I would suggest
to
put your fish in an isolation tank, a quarantine tank,
put a concentrated level in just there. This is the one reason. This is a good reason why, if you can, you really need the quarantine system. I think nowadays, with how things are going, and with a lot of suppliers of fish and people that are out there importing fish, bringing them in, and all the rest of it, they have to quarantine them. And I think it's probably a good idea that we all quarantine our own. Now, if you're like me with only one pond and you ain't got much choice, the things that you can do when you bring a new fish in, you can give it a salt bath. You can give it a PP bath.
In a bucket.
You can also do a scrape prior to pouring it in. I mean, we can all hold it in a small measuring bowl. I'm saying small, temporarily, just while you get these tests done. Hold it in a measuring bowl with a net over the top. Whatever you do, guys, brand new fish, don't come home and leave it in a bowl unattended, because they want to jump out. They're spooked, they're scared, they're not sure where they are. So net it over. Most of us have got a big pan net. Most of us have got either a bit of pond netting that you can drape over the top, put a couple of stones on it so you don't lose that fish. But those would have to be, in my eyes, minimum requirement before you add a fish in. But I would say now, with the amount of times I'm seeing people getting problems and getting issues, if you can and you've got space, build yourself a quarantine tank. Hold that fish in quarantine. I mean, familiarize it with the water that you've got by pumping some of your water out of your pond into said quarantine tank, so that it's in the same water conditions, it's in the same water parameters, and make sure that that fish is comfortable, it's good, and it's clean. Give it a couple of weeks before you know, and so you can double check for your parasites, infections, and the rest of it. See if anything develops before you put it straight in your pond, because there's so many people out there now that have got these bacterial issues where it's wiping out the ponds, and it's rapid.
It seems to spread from fish to fish as well. Start with one fish that's showing signs of ulcers or redness. You take it straight out, isolate it, and treat it. Then there's a good chance that you'll knock it on the head there and then, and you won't have any further issues. But if you leave it in the pond, and before you know it, it's spread to half a dozen other fish, then it's a downhill slope. It really is.
That's some of the things that we've been noticing with people that we know. We're not 100% sure if it's bacterial issue and it's in the water column, or if it's bacterial issue and it's spread from fish to fish. It's for our particular one that we're dealing at present with, it seems to be the latter, and it seems to be the fish spreading it from fish to fish to fish, because it can't physically be possible for anything to be in that or existing in that water bacterially with what we've chucked at it, because we've practically hit the pond with a nuclear warhead. It's had everything and anything that you can imagine that, everybody would advise to do. We've tried treatments with PP direct to, we've cleaned it all up with all the usual treatments, and there are this is another topic to touch on. But before
the other thing
leaving this one,
that I've just thought of, and I never thought of before, like with humans, how we have the antibiotics. Could it be overuse of fish treatments that's made these viruses and bacteria immune to
it? Yeah. Well, it could very well be, mate. Yeah.
Because it certainly happened with people, isn't it? With the antibiotics.
Quite possibly. I would imagine it would. As you say, with antibiotics in people, they're trying to stop people taking it for the sort of lesser ailments where you can normally get over it with a couple of weeks rest. So I would imagine, mate, that it would be more than possible, I would have thought, for that to be a case. It's a case of, well, trial and error. We can keep trying, we keep trying, we keep trying, we keep trying. As soon as we think everything's up and good and going and everything's looking good, a couple of days later, bang, one fires up again. And you think, right, we're right back to square one. Now, what do you do? I mean, for me, my personal choice is, for the greater good, remove the bad and save the majority, not the minority. That's my motto. That's what I go with. If in doubt, get that fish out. And it's not everybody's cup of tea, and a lot of people will try to save a fish, but I think sometimes we can ask about way too much, put too much effort into it, and cause a lot more problems with a lot of your other fish when simple remove and sedate and putting that fish out of its so-called misery might have been the better choice. But I'm not saying that's always the case, guys, but I think sometimes you've got to assess it and make that judgment call, whether it be harsh or not. Go straight to
point where the fish reaches, and once the ulcers start showing visibly on the fish, it's almost impossible to bring it back from that. Early onset, bit of red on the mouth, early mouth rot and fin rot, bit of redding on the sides. You can, if you're lucky, knock it on the head and stop it in its tracks. But once you get that bit further, then, like Gaz says, really, you need to euthanize the fish.
Yeah, it's got to a point beyond that point of returning it when if it's got internal.
Over then you start seeing mini ulcers all over the fish, and before you know it, 2 days down the line, the fish has normally died.
Yeah. Well, this is one particular fish that we've had. It had a tiny little ulcer, so we thought, and it didn't look too bad. Tiny little ulcer, so we thought we'll treat that tiny little ulcer, and we'll make sure we get it before it becomes bad. I really feel like I just smashed my head against a brick wall, because a week later, the fish now, the ulcer is 4 or 5 times the size. Wow. It was almost as if we'd have left it, would it have still been that small ulcer? But every other small ulcer that we've left have become the size of your fist. And it's a case of, you don't know whether you're doing, I mean, so my motto is now, ulcer, gone. See you later. I personally, for me, I just will not entertain it. I'm not even going to try. I've seen way too many people put, and I'm talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds worth of materials and treatments into the ponds to try rectifying it, and it's doing nothing at all. And we have had a chat between ourselves, all those guys, just to, mulling over this issue, and we're kind of now at the theory of take everything out that's good, PP bath them, bang them in a pool of fresh dechlorinated water, temporary pool again, get all those fish in there, and then absolutely annihilate the full filter system, the full pond, full jet wash down, full bleach off, total tear down, and then reintroduce all the fish steadily over a week's period, bit by bit, couple in one night, couple in, a couple of days later, couple again, until they're all back in, giving the filter system as much as a best possible start to not be too much overloading. But whenever you've got, it's going to be new pond syndrome regardless, but that's kind of where we are as to how far do you go before you're just wasting your time. And that's the only sort of like level we could say now would be that's worst case scenario as what we would have to do. Or you keep fighting these little wars, these little battles and a little battle and you know, another one and another treatment and another treatment and hope that at the end you win the war. But the worst thing is, or the last thing you want is fish going into winter where they've not been able to eat a great deal, because they've not been too cracky throughout the summer months due to treatment after treatment after treatment, because it comes through winter and it gets to the bottom of a pond and you know, it's sit there chilling, waiting for going dormant, waiting for the hibernation sort of mode to kick in. It's too weak. It won't make it.
Yeah.
And then you fish are bellying up and dying because they ain't got enough reserves. So you've got a fine line of koi husbandry as to where you need to make the choices. Is it cruel to be kind?
Plus, their immune system will be compromised if it's cold winter.
Exactly,
So,
yeah. So it's just going to keep getting worse.
We'll take them out as well.
Yeah. And then you could end up with more of your fish getting infected. No, sorry. It's one of those vicious circles.
I can see this. We'll pack up the hobby altogether, which is not good. But that's the last thing anybody wants.
Yeah, there's a lot of people getting disheartened with it all at present, and it's not good. It really isn't. Keith and Paula Pond Build. We'll touch a few comments for a bit. So they just sub Carol. Carol Orsett says it was a carcass. It turned white. So it's definitely a Shuramuji now, Carol. But if it was a kahaku, it no longer is. Agreed. Thumbs up. LOL. Not to worry, guys. Plants can be replaced. They certainly can. And to be fair, it was kind of half expected. Highest magnification, inconclusive. Dots moving about. So FMG tomorrow.
That sounds
maybe white spot. Or dots moving about. That's trick, isn't it? The flying saucer one?
No. Flying saucer is one of the biggest of the parasites.
Right.
White spot. Dots moving about are normally Costia, or what's the other one? Ick, and there's one even smaller than Costia that you really need a good magnification for. It will be that one. I think it's got little tails on it, like little hairs.
The hair. Yeah, I know which one you mean, but I don't know the name of it. But it looks like a grain of rice, slightly curled with little hair sticking out of it everywhere. Yeah,
but they're really, really tiny. Alperex, brilliant stuff.
Yeah,
that nukes any of those parasites. I wouldn't even go to anything else. I go straight to Alperex every time.
There you go, Mike. Live from the koi pond. George is all fixed now, apart from a slight tinge of pink in his main fin. He's so happy now. Right. That is good news, mate. But I need to give you a little bit of a tip and a little bit of advice. And please take this constructively because it's purely meant that way. First rule of thumb. Whenever forms of treatment are going on, mate, and you are treating your fish, the last thing you want to do is cross-contamination. So, said little pot with said little brush for application. Do not put that pot or that brush back into that pot, because the next time you take, because you don't know what you've got that fish has got. You know it's got some kind of an issue. We're not 100% sure what it is. The last thing you want to be doing is taking that pot and the brush, dipping it into the pot, and then spreading it on the fish, then back into the pot and spreading it on the fish. What you want to do is get yourself some little cotton buds, you know, the little cotton buds with little sticks. You got two ends on that. Put it in, take it out, apply it. Turn it round, put it in, take it out, apply it, and then discard. New, and again, and again, and again. Never double dip anything back into your treatment bottle, mate, because the next time you treat that fish for whatever ailments that you're treating, and you then take that little brush out and then start applying it onto another fish, you may very well transfer whatever that fish had to that other fish, because the bacteria has been sat there in that little pot bubbling away, producing itself. It's a no-no, mate. You want to be clean and as sterile as possible. One towel, one fish, one treatment. Any more fish that you need to treat, new towel, new fish, new treatment. Each application needs to be clean. Swabs need to be clean. Use it once, chuck it in the bin. Never double back and forth, and never keep going back to your original source. If in doubt, mate, pour it out. Pour it into a little separate container. That way, then you know you're not going back to it. You're not ever going to spread anything else back to your fish. It's just a bit of advice, mate. It's what anybody that I would consider a friend, I would tell the same thing. I've not done a great deal of it myself, but what I do know is if you go to hospital, mate, and you're having an operation done, you guarantee they ain't going back in with same instruments again and again and again. If it's been used once, it's out and it's replaced. Stops the spread of bad bacteria.
Yeah. It is at the end of the day, pretty much. And
Sorry?
I know it's difficult when...
It is. And it's hard to remember. But
I do it. It all goes out of your head, your standard protocol. But if you try and think what's going to happen to start with, like everything out first, get your mat ready and everything, and hopefully there'll be no problems. But sometimes the fish just goes mental, and I think yours did. I think George.
It does, yeah. I mean, they were trying to sedate it 100%, but it were having none of it, were it?
No.
Sometimes a slightly better quality sedate might be more of the case, but with a big fish, mate, they do have to be in the sedate for quite some time. But if you see the respiratory gills starting to get to a point where they're barely moving, be careful. Don't leave it in there too long. If it starts to resemble not moving, that's because it's not going to be moving ever again. It's a fine line between dead and 100% gone. As in, it's better to take the fish out and sedate and do a bit more if needs be, if you need to do, than to run the risk of holding it in the sedate too long and putting your fish to sleep permanently. But hard, mate. It's not an easy process. And most of all, at the end of the day, relax. Stay calm. Don't panic. Because at the end of the day, it's something you're doing to better the fish. So try to be as calm as possible.
Really have.
Surround your area with as much protected soft padding if you can. That way, then, if the fish does have a flap about, it's not going to do itself any harm. Ideally, do it on your lawn. Surrounding area is going to be softer than a concrete footpath, or put some more towels around your surface area just to make sure that if it does have a flash about, it's going to be. And a damp towel over its head and its gills. It might be a little bit more relaxed than if it's not seeing what's going on. I'm not saying it will, but you never know. Most things that people do to any form of animals, they normally cover its head and its eyes to keep it a little bit calmer. I mean, if you imagine 1 minute you're in a pond, next minute there's two people over top of you and all sorts is coming at it, it would be a little bit daunting.
Alien abduction.
Quinny Koi closing would be a massive shame, not only because it's quality shot, but sponsored so many shows. It would be a massive shame, mate. It would be a massive shame for me 100%, because I've just found an half decent food that comes from there and my fish like it, and I'm enjoying its results, and I'd be gutted if I can't get hold of it, because I'll have to start that process all over again, which would be a real pain in the ass. But that's another one. Crikey, that surprised me with Quinny Koi. Used it for years, so we'll definitely watch out for the news. I think maybe one or two could go off and set up under a new one, maybe. Yeah, well, you see, it's out there. It's been published. It's been put out there to public by them or by somebody from them. I would imagine, more than likely, if it's a good, successful, productive business, somebody will probably buy somebody out. Or they might all just go home and think it over, have a chat amongst themselves, and put it to bed and sort it out. But who knows? It's let's hope one or the other. Carol says today's second time salt bath, 3 ounces in 1 gallon, air stone in the bowl. I did a scrape, nothing was moving. Then I noticed both pet fins at the front are split and marks on the face not getting better. Sounds like
Mouth rocks.
Have you introduced any new fish, Carol? Have you got anything new? If you did, where did you get it from? Water tests are very good. Sounds bacterial, doesn't it? Again,
It does, yeah.
Bacterial issue. Same with fluke treatment. Used to be 2%, now it's 1%. Says Skeggy. Hiya, bud. Hope you're all right, mate. Yeah, I don't understand why. I mean, I do because EU, but we're not in goddamn EU. So why should it make any difference what we have? Our product should be what we want. Balls the rest of them. That's what I'm using now, lads. That must be Aquaflavin, I think, maybe. That's what I'm using now, lads. Just to give a shout out for NT Labs, user and fin rot and fluke treatment is fantastic. You see, is that NT Labs fin rot and fluke treatment in one, or fin rot and fluke treatment separate? Because if it's fin rot and fluke treatment, I mean, it could have been fluke that was your issue. It could have been fin rot. Fin rot normally ends up, mate, with lots of big sections missing. I don't think you had fin rot. Looking at what we saw, it looked like irritation, not missing sections. Fin rot literally does eat away at the fin to the point of you can end up with hardly any of it left. Yeah. It'll all look raggedly torn away and chunks missing. It'll almost look like something's literally come along and took a bite out of it.
Yeah,
that's
bits just fall off the fins. Yeah. But there's nothing left practically. You've got a stub for a tail. And the fish swim. It's terrible.
It's horrible, isn't it? It is horrible. Ulcers. How well would an easy pod work on a 15,000 gallon pond on its own? A 15,000 gallon pond, an easy pod wouldn't be big enough.
No, that's quite a big pond.
I do believe maximum capability is 5,000 litres for an easy pod. Could be wrong, but I'm sure Skeggy, and the only reason why I think it's 5,000 litres is I know somebody that has 6,500 litres, and the recommended is. Ooh.
Sorry, there's chips in there though as well.
Thank you very much. Pup just come in and a bit of something to eat. Let's have a Sonny.
Go in. You can smell chicken.
Yeah, he can smell chicken. He's not interested in me. Can tell the nose does definitely work because he's off. Following my wife in there now with the smell of chicken in the house. Yeah. What was it? Yeah, I do believe. I don't believe it would, mate. No, I think its maximum capabilities is 5,000 litres. I think, but a quick Google should tell you that. But Skeggy might be able to tell you as well. KB should be fine depending on the stock quantity. 15,000 gallons. How many 15,000 gallons? How many gallons is? How many liters is 15,000 gallons? Is that? Yeah. Somebody do some quick maths. Get back to me. I think that's over 5,000 liters.
It's five times it, isn't it? And the 5 litres per gallon.
Don't know. Computer brain says don't know. But I'd have to Google it for you, mate. But yeah, Skeggy says it should be okay. But if you've got depending on stocking levels, then if that says it's not okay, doesn't it? If you can have your stocking levels up to your 15,000 gallons, then your filter's not capable of doing it. If you put in the amount of stocking levels you're allowed, you'd have to have less stock to produce good filtration, which is we want to be having more filtration than what's necessary, really. Wouldn't be stocking high and low feeding. That's what everybody says.
Yeah, that's how it starts.
That's how it starts. Before you know, there's 45 fish in there, and we're feeding bucket loads each time. Yeah. Earning Skeggy, mate. Evening, I think that one is. Evening Skeggy, mate. So an easy pod media is for cleaning and bio. It's for cleaning the bio. Something in the pipeline at Koi Beginnings? Yeah, it does both. Urban, a vacuum shower on the pod, though can't have enough. Just like to educate myself. Personally, mate, I would have said that's too small. So
yeah,
and from what I'm seeing from Easy Pods, the shit, because they don't do the damn job. Everybody modifies them. Everybody I know that's got one's got problems. So there you go. Daz was saying it's like MRSA. So, yeah, it is. It really is. It is, mate. And I totally agree. It's nuts. Totally is. It is.
Yeah.
No matter what you do, it doesn't seem to touch it. I would agree with that. Very much like MRSA.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So I'll believe you. Says up now, guy. That's talking backwards and forwards to Koi Beginnings. I've had FINRA, fluke, gill, fluke, white spot, and now bacteria problems. And up to yet spent over 300. Where does it end?
Yeah. It's demoralising.
32 years of fish. I've never had this before. The only thing I can say, mate, is well, it's down to what, if you've not had any of these problems and the fish that you purchased quite recently became your problem or brought in your problem, take it up with them, mate, because there's your source. If you had nothing before, you've introduced new fish, now all of a sudden you've got bacterial issues in your pond. That doesn't look good, does it? Yeah. But, I mean, obviously you can't go out there pointing finger and blaming them, but
at least have peace of mind and a rough idea of what the cause is. That's a lot of it, not knowing.
Try contact them, see if they've had it in the store, see if they've had it in the shop. And if they have, if they would tell you what they've used, if they've had any success in treating it. Now, the majority of them won't tell you, won't say they've ever had it because they don't want to admit it. But feel free to report them to the appropriate channels, mate, so that they have the license took off them. Evening, Skeggy, mate. Cop say I'm the same. So is David. Evening, life around. My guys uses injection antibiotics, has quite a lot of success with that method. Yeah, but I know people have used that same thing as well and had zero success with it as well. It's but I agree, mate. If you can afford it, I think by the time you spend so much money on a lot of treatments, you really could do 2 or 3 vaccinations. I know, you know, but we don't
realise the problem. You contacted someone, managed to get an appointment for a vet to come over and inject them. The fish has probably had it anyway.
Yeah.
This is the problem. It needs to be more freely available to the hobbyist fish keep. Something we can just buy off the shelf and give them as and when we need it.
Yeah. Graham says, Carol had a similar problem a few months back. Couple of fish looked red and veiny. One also had a split peck, did a salt bath for 3 days, and then a 5 days course of, what's that one? How do we pronounce that one, Daz? Myxin P?
I don't know. Reading glasses on, I can't read.
Anyway, but that's what he used, 5 days course. And I'm guessing that sorted him out, did it, Graham? I hope it did. Trying to get hold of Batrel is a nightmare site. I've been trying for weeks. That's the antibiotic injections from your vets.
And that's a good one that does work. Batril is you go to antibiotic.
Yeah.
My daughter uses small rodents or small hamsters and such. But the problem is with Batril during COVID, and I think it's still the same now, they were having supply issues. They were really struggling to get hold of it. And it's still hard to get hold of now. Is
that because we've all been given a vaccine ourselves using stuff?
Yeah, we've probably been instead of the blooming animal.
For COVID. They'll be using koi treatment on us. He gets it from abroad, says up north, koi.
Yeah. It is produced mainly in Europe. This is a problem. This is why we're having supply issues.
There you go, Daz. Does Daz ever stop eating?
No. I'm a growing lad.
There you go. Cheerio, Daz.
Cheerio.
Alprex is just Aquaflavin and malachite mixed.
That's what they say, but it seems to be a lot more effective. I've used malachite and Aquaflavin, and it didn't do a deal.
Sorry.
Maybe the strength that is in Alprex. Maybe it's a stronger.
Yeah, I definitely believe they've weakened it, mate. I really do.
Yeah.
But Sai says, I never doubled it.
Good lad.
Safety first. Sai, if you have a contact, there you go. Oh, sorry. If you have a contact, what you're on about a contact for your double dipping then. I'm almost sedate is clove oil. Almost all sedate is clove oil. Yeah. But the particular one that they were using, Skeggy, was one that was X amount of drips to X amount of water. Whereas there are other ones that you put a larger amount in, that might be, 10 milliliters to a amount of water. It just seemed to be for them a long time for the fish to go under. Whereas what I will do, Jamie, is I will get in touch with a friend of mine because he's got some sedate stuff. I'll find out what the product was, because that stuff of his is brilliant. You put it in, and these we've done, big fish as well. We've sedated big fish just for a few little bits and bats that need sorting out on them, and they were out in like 3 to 5-10 seconds, gone. Long enough for us to be able to do what we needed and straight back into water without any messing about. So I'll find out what that was, mate, and I'll drop you a link. I'll send it you through. No new fish. Been using Virkon weeks now. Yeah, try sopping. Maybe it's the Virkon it doesn't like.
Virkon doesn't seem to do a deal in our experience, does it?
No. We've tried Virkon with the bacterial issues that we've been having. And it's done absolutely no.
No. I know it's supposed to be water, not the fish, but we've not had success at all with it.
It's not made an ounce of difference, has it? No. Carol, have you tried a high dose of CT? CT.
Don't know what CT is.
High dose of chloramine T.
Yeah.
Yes. Now this is the one that we're on with now.
Yeah.
This is what we've just treated. We've just done a 4-day treatment with chloramine T. Chloramine? Is it chloramine? Chloramine T. Yeah. And up to press, that seems to have been having a success on some of it.
Yeah. Early fin mouth rot, it did seem to completely clear it up.
Yeah. But again, when you get stuff beyond that and it's mass ulcerations.
Yeah. Reach for the gun.
The other thing is that as we've stayed, and I've stayed, you've gone out there and you've bought yourself a 200 quid fish. Excuse me. And that 200 quid fish looks absolutely stunning. It's beautiful. It gets an ulcer in its size of your fish. And you pull scale, you do everything else, scar tissue heals all up. It looks a mess from then on in. And it's always that constant reminder, isn't it? As well, that you've got a fish. But if you can get it good, has anybody had good, successful treatments with ulcers where it's not left scarring, where it's not it's not visible? Because most of the ones that I've seen it passed on some people's fish, I've got horrendous scarring from it as well. And you can see that the scales are no longer uniform and they're kicked up or twisted around all over random places. And I'm asking a question if anybody else has noticed the same. That says salt dip at 0.95 will kill anything. There you go. Including the around the koi pond. George was on 2 carp mats. I know, mate. I watched it, bud. Yeah. If you sometimes trying to pin a fish can do more damage if it's on a surface as to where you know, surrounded all the way around it. That's if your fish is 60 cm and your fish basically what they do is if they get on a banking, they try flipping and flipping to get themselves back into water. So if it flips 60 cm the opposite way. So ideally, mate, you need like a 2.4 meter safe area around what you're doing. If fish starts to give it a good thrash about and a good flip around, in a matter of flips, it can move 3 to 4 foot one way or other. So I'm just meaning precaution, mate. Safety better than, you know, because if it gets a good rub or a good gouge or a good cut on itself off of a concrete surface, then all you're going to have is muck and bacteria in a fresh cut that's already on a fish that's already got issues. Which just, I'm not, you know, a big dust sheet, an old bed sheet or whatever, anything that you can make that surface area around it a bit extra protection. Better being safe than sorry. 15,000, sorry, 1,500, not 15,000. Did I say 15,000? Oh, right. 1,500 gallon, not 15,000 gallon, or 15,000 litres, or 1,500 litres. 1,500 gallon is.
We've got a bigger.
7,500 litres.
That's 3,500 litres is 750 gallon. So it's all right. That's a 6 to 7 push it. That's nearly an 8,000 litre pond. No, it's not big enough. 100%. All right. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, you bang on with the litre pretty much. Yeah.
Not so far off. A couple of
100 either way.
Yeah. DEFRA gets involved because DEFRA get involved because people don't know their pond volume and overdose their ponds, kills the fish, and DEFRA get them to change it. Yeah, probably is, mate. No okay beginnings. Yeah. I haven't tried that. EA recommend EasyPod up to 10,000 litres. Optimum flow rates. No, he's not talking about flow rates. The optimum flow rate is about 5,000 litres per hour. He's talking about, is it capable of dealing with a 1,500 gallon pond? The flow rate through. I suppose, yeah, that's how to do it. You need to work out how much literage is, or what your gallonage is, and then how many times that you can turn that pond over per hour with said filter. And if it'll do it, then you're going to know your answer, aren't you? But my pond runs. Oh, sorry, I clicked on that one. My pond runs an EasyPod, 929 gallons in my pond. Yeah, that's under 5,000 litres. So I would say completely acceptable.
Come on.
10k pond volume, 5k flow rate on a pod. Tempest is a 5,000 litre. Tempest is 5,000 litre pond volume. My EasyPod works on a 3,500 litre pond. Yeah, see, 3,500 litres is a lot less than 1,500 gallons. So it would do. 1,500 gallons is double your pond. It's 1,500 gallons, not 15,000 or 6,000. That's so that or 6,500 litres. Oh God, this is getting confusing. Come back to us when you've got the actual size of your pond, when you know what it is in litres or gallons. I mean, litres, man. You're a young lad. You should be working in litres, not gallons. You weren't taught gallons at school. That is for sure. Run my EasyPod, my fried tank, 300 plus fish, 2,000 litres. Water is crystal clear. There you go. Clean water doesn't mean good water, or does it, Skeggy? Weekly is recommended 1 tablet per 500 gallons. Is that for the... I can't never remember the name of this stuff. What do they call it? Tablets. Vercon? Is that for the Vercon? One tablet weekly is recommended. One tablet, 500 gallons. Skeg. My Easy Pod is working fine since I added my homemade filter. The water is in clear, going back into the pond. Yeah, I've got to admit, mate, looking at the videos, the pond is coming clearer. Did you notice any settlement on the bottom of the pond? When we were talking about it overnight, because you were saying, I mean, I noticed you had to cut back all your plants as well, mate, because they were booming, weren't they? That's a good thing. Hopefully, they start booming and start growing again and pulling out all those
nitrate.
But yeah, we've touched base on the treatment side of things, which is the one that I wanted to make sure that I mentioned to you, Jamie. But obviously, it's not just to yourself; it's to anybody out there. If you can help it, always try and keep it as clinically clean on your treatment side of things as possible. Never going back and forth into the pot, into your treatment with the same apparatus back to your fish. Because then when you move from that area and work on area 2, you don't know if those 2 areas are the same infection. Could be 2 totally different infections on one area, fin rot, mouth rot, ulcer. You're spreading the bacteria of all different types around different areas of the fish. One application, one area. Dispatch, throw it away, and then keep on, making sure that you keep all the areas as clean as possible. Carol, Vercon is a water conditioner stroke sterilizer. More of a preventative than a cure. Yeah, 100%. The problem with Baytrol is you need fish specialists, vet license to administer it to fish. Oh, and it's an antibiotic, not a vaccine.
Yeah, there's antibiotic.
Yeah. NT Labs, one is 10 drops to 5 litres. Never had a problem with it. No, I'm not saying they had a problem there. They had a particularly large fish that took some going out, took some putting under. And well, it was going, but the second they picked it up and took it out, it were having none of it. It were definitely awake. Well, maybe not awake, but struggling into making life harder for them to treat it. Vercon doesn't treat fish. It's a preventative. It's not a medication. Yeah, 100%. We've read it all on the thingy. On in fact, go and have a look. It's on Skeggy's website, on his website, on his channel. He pauses the section for you all to read. Tells you exactly what Vercon's for and what it does. And it was an interesting read, to be fair. Twisted Evening Cupcakes, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up.
Evening Vince.
100% Skeggy from Koi Beginnings. It's a constant reminder of how good a job you did saving it. Well, yeah, I would go with that, Skeggy. Yeah, I'd go with that. That's a positive. Taking a positive from a negative. That's a good way of looking at it. But have you personally, in yourself, Skeggy, and anybody else that's out there, have you ever had success where it's not visible and it's healed up perfectly and you can't tell? I don't know.
I've had one fish
I've never had anything where I've needed to treat.
I've had one. It was a Deutz fish, and it had a full ulcer, got to about the size of 50 pence a piece. This fish was only 12 inches long. This was going into winter, and I treated it 3 or 4 times with standard Kasuri, propolis, such. And the 4th time, I treated it, and I fully expected it to be dead over the winter, come spring. But springtime come, and it woke up, and for some reason I had to net the fish out, and I netted it out, and I could not believe it. There was not a trace. I mean, this is a Deutz fish that's got a silver grey sort of smooth background colour. You couldn't tell
at all.
Now,
see now,
and that was a deep ulcerated hole in it as well.
Yeah, and I remember mixed fish when they'd been spawning. When they spawned that first time, he got a bit of an ulcer on the underside. Well, it might, maybe not so much of an ulcer, but more of when it'd been rubbing.
Oh, you mean Randy?
Yeah, and you can't see where that one was either, can you?
No,
Deutsch seem to heal up far better.
Yeah,
But
they
you
do.
never notice that with a scaled variety.
Well,
instead.
maybe it's the scales that hold the bacteria underneath.
Yeah. So we need to strip all the scales off us fish, guys.
Just keep fish.
Yeah, that's what you want. You have to be careful with CT though, because if you have soft water, you have to lower the dosage.
Right.
Yeah. And you can't use salt it does state on the packet not to use if you've got salt in your water. So be careful if you are going to thinking about using it. Make sure you've got no salt content in your pond. Evening Vince from Skegger, Twisted Coy says Skeggers or Skegster. Yoga mat, yeah, cheap as chips, mate. Plenty of protection, nice and soft, 100%.
Yeah, that's what I've got. An older yoga mat works brilliant.
Right, here we go. 1,500 gallons is approximately 6,500 litres, approximately 4.5 litres per gallon. So, an easy pod is supposed to be capable of filtering a 5,000 litre pond. So you're 1,500 litres over, I believe, unless anybody else can tell me anything different about that. That's what I've been told. I don't know if it's right 100%, but I've been told it's supposed to cover or be capable of filtering 5,000 litres. Is this the product you have suggested? That's the one, Carol. Yeah, Cormine tea. It comes in a way you can get, and you only need a little bit as well. It's real small amounts, so it must be pretty potent stuff. I've had that before.
The only downside is difficult to weigh because it's very, very light and fluffy.
It's, I think, if memory serves right, for a biological water treatment side of things, it is 5 grams for 1,000 gallons, I believe. And then there are other different dosages for different forms of treatments that you're doing. So it's small amounts, real small amounts. Vince says, I've had that before. What have you had before, Vince? Yes, Carol, you can get it on my website, the NT Labs one. There you go. Skegster. And that is www.skegnesspondsupplies.co.uk. I hope that's right. Skegs. If not, stick it in, mate. Let's give it a shout. The NT Labs one took out my 75 cm female, no problem. There you go. Sweet. Is it a bigger bottle? Sorry, Skegger. The bigger bottle, because it's good stuff. And Vince, I'm guessing, Vince, have you had that before? What, trying to knock out a big fish, do you mean? And it not going no matter how long you leave it in there. But even though its gill, movements are almost non-existent, fish still ain't out. I suppose, though, saying that, it's like people, I suppose. Some people get sedated and they don't go under, do they? So maybe the fish is slightly immune in a sense.
Yeah. Well, it could be adrenaline. The fish kicks in. There's lots of things come into play.
There we go. I've had them heal that you can't see. That Shisui I had off Jack. I'm guessing that's doubts though.
Yeah.
Which is what we were saying. Winter, they have time to heal and heal slowly. They say 10,000 litres on their website. There we go. So you should be good, mate, if it is 1,500 gallons, not 15,000 gallons. How much would I need to treat my pond for 4 days? 929 gallons. You'd need five. That's 929 gallons. It's 5 milligrams. Sorry, 5 grams for 1,000 gallons. So you would need to put in that over an hour. You're supposed to pour it in over the space of an hour. Mix it up in a jug or in a bucket. Add it to over the period of an hour, and then you do that over 4 days, and then nothing for 2 weeks. That's what I'm pretty sure it says on back of the packet. In fact, I'm almost 100% because I've just been using it. And it is 5 grams to 1,000 gallon for water treatment only. There are other forms of treatment measurements that it says on the back of the packet, Carol. But one packet, Carol, will treat your pond several times. So worthwhile getting one in and having it in stock because it seems quite effective on fin rot. I'm convinced scale fish hold the bacteria in the scale pockets.
Yeah, I think you might be right, Skeggy.
Why you can't get right in there? Yeah, I reckon you might be right, mate. I thought 100%. Yeah. Hey up, Vince. Copset, cupcake, twisted, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. I think my water is soft. Try hitting it from 50 foot, see if you think it's soft then. Sorry, that was a little dad joke. An easy pod will filter 10,000 litres, as has been said about 4 times now. Cool. But will an easy pod filter a 1,500 gallon pond? Yup. Easy pod should handle 4,000 litre pond with koi. Anything above that, I suggest adding a moving bed, which basically gives you a nexus. There we go. Jeff. Lee says, evening, guys. Hi, Daz. Evening to all watching.
Evening, Jeff.
Tandem. Might be 150 gallons now. Oh, God damn it. Which is it? 150 gallons? 100...
Just run.
Yeah, a man with your deep pockets. Why do you need to be asking about with small filters? You're loaded, mate. You must be. So get yourself a big 320 on it, and then you can have it as big as you want. There's a guy who made an update for a Nexus called Trident, which should be available for the EasyPod shortly. There's so many this is what I don't get about it, right? There's so many modifications out for the damned EasyPod. Why buy it? Yeah. Why buy something that you have to modify the shit out of to make it fucking do?
It's not easy anymore, is it?
Do what it should be doing. If you can't buy it off a shelf and it do its job, is it worth having? Because I really don't think it is. I apologize there, but I just can't get my head around it. I don't understand why anybody. It's like going out and buying a car. That engine doesn't start on it, and you have to put a new engine in. You just wouldn't do it. So why do you do the same with an EasyPod? Then modify the shit out of it. Makes no sense. CT in powdered form do a big bag too. At Koi Beginnings, laughing face. Skeggy Pond says, good evening, Jeff. Life around the koi pond. Thing is, they say 5 to 10 minutes on the bottle of 5 to 10 minutes on the bottle of clove oil. I was a bit scared of leaving him in too long, mate. Yeah, I would say 5 to 10 minutes is.
Yeah,
that's to me, from my experience, from what I've seen everybody using today, 10 minutes, fish ain't alive anymore. But yours was, mate. I understand. You did 7 minutes, didn't you? And it was still kicking around everywhere.
Generally, once it rolls over onto its side, then it's knocked out.
Yeah, but it did. Their fish rolled over onto the side. It even rolled right over. So you right to the point where you think, yeah, that fish is sedated, but you were having none of it.
Could have been adrenaline kicking in, though.
Yeah. As soon as he picked him up, put him down on mat, flat, back in again.
Yeah.
Mike KH says, hi, Jeff. Christy Coy says, hi, all. How you doing, mate? Hope you're good. Everything can be made better. Yeah, to be fair. Well, I don't know. I agree with that. Yeah. Everything can be made better. Go tell your lass that. Dare you? Buy a car, then modify it to go a bit faster. No, because you can only do speed limit on road, mate. That's not what I'd do. I wouldn't buy a car to modify it to go faster. The car's already faster than what I'm allowed to drive it anyway. So
you're buying your filter to do a specific job. It should do that specific job without having poultry.
Yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from, but to me, see, most people modify a vehicle, and what they consider a modification to 90% of the other people that are having to listen to it, it's not a modification.
It's an irritation.
It's an irritation, yeah. I mean, I don't understand anybody that goes out there and buys, you know, let's say a 40 grand car, then puts an exhaust pipe on it that's the size of a drain pipe to make it sound like what my cars sound like it passed from my exhaust and dropped off.
Yeah. A tractor.
Yeah. I mean, the idea of a vehicle is supposed to be nice, comfort, and quiet, but don't mind a good music system and all that kind of stuff. But having an exhaust that sounds like tearing down the road and rattling people's windows and backfiring like shit, which is unburnt fuel, just
flames
wasting money. Yeah. Guys, you really need to read what people type. You're confusing yourself. I don't. What? You've lost me. Eden Koi Pond. It would help sometimes if what we're reading made fucking sense. Then it'd be readable. 9 times out of 10, what I'm reading and I'm not that bad at reading. I know I'm not brilliant, but some of it's very confusing. Eden Koi Pond used an upgrade in his Nexus. It's brilliant. But why isn't the Nexus brilliant without having to upgrade it?
Yeah. Do the Nexus people not watch these videos on YouTube and take it on board?
You'd think we would, wouldn't you? You'd think if somebody come up with a genuinely good design for it, and it did make a difference, you'd think Nexus would go, do you know what? Let's give that guy a couple of grand and say, thanks very much for a brilliant improvement on his filter system and implement it.
Yeah.
If it works.
Yeah.
I'm running 2 easy pods unmodified. Bullshit. I'm going to call bullshit on that because I know you've got those stupid little flaps on top that stops your media from falling out. Modification. And now tell me if I'm wrong. Because I know you got some. And I know you fitted them because I've seen them. Easy. It's how technology develops through ideas are built upon and the next big thing comes along. You're right, mate, it does. But that's like, right, it's like saying you go out and buy a washing machine, but you want it to do your dishes. And wanging all your washing machine, all your dishes and pots and pans, and wondering each time when it comes out and why it's all smashed to bits. Because it's not fit job. So if it's not fit for doing job, you would buy the right machine, which is what I'm saying. If you're using a product and you have to modify the shit out of it, I don't see as it's the right product for that job. I think I can't understand why they, like, for example, that Prime one, the Prime at the top of them, the little free little, looks like a radiation sign, I think, on top of them.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, those two free little slots. You boil up your Easy Pod, and I mean, I know Skeggy said the other day we're doing one, or it was somebody said they were doing one. Yes. Okay, the Easy Pod on the toe side tank is unmodified. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, Mad Dog did one the other day.
Why does it pour out? Is that because you're putting too much air in? You're boiling up too much, or is it too deep, too low? Is that human error, not design error? I don't know because I don't have one. I won't have one in the shine.
Mad Dog did one the other day.
I'll give you another one then, guys. All you Easy Pod users, and this is going to be something that I'm going to make I might just keep my mouth shut and do the video on it. In fact, I will. I'm not going to tell you. See you when I do the video.
Yeah, UV on an Easy Pod. Mad Dog did one the other day. You know, convert it to put the UV in an Easy Pod. Well, if it's a filter system, it's going to need UV into it. Not many people run the ponds without a UV system. So why not make the blooming thing with it so you'll be ready with it? Yeah.
Well, there is isn't there a Easy Pod already that does have one with it built in?
Well, the one he got didn't. He's had to modify it and convert it.
Well, I know there's one that
inline out filter and everything, but you want it all in one unit, really, don't you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it saves on having all the meshing and stuff around all over the shop, doesn't it? Where did I miss? Where was I on the comments there? I hate it when it does that. There we go. Technology, that one. Every pond has fines, even with a drum. The Trident helps remove fines, apparently. Ah, right, so that's what the Trident's for. I've got a 4,500 litre pond on my Easy Pod, and I'm forever cleaning it, but that's the hobby. Well, it is, mate, but it also depends just how much you're wanging in there. The more you throw in, the more they make for you to clean. So I think sometimes we can we can help ourselves by feeding less. We've got a random LOL. LOL. Laugh out loud. I hope you are. Some people want different levels of filtration and have different expectations. A lot of these modifications have come about with Windows becoming more popular and removing the fines.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go with that as well, mate.
I would.
Why buy a washing machine for a dishwasher? It was just a fucking example. It was, you know, why buy an Easy Pod and then modify the shit out of it? That's my point. Okay, the Easy Pod is a toe-side tank, is unmodified. Hello, everyone. Newly discovered this channel, and I've been watching to learning, planning my first pond. Fingers crossed. Thank you. Is that a good thing? Been watching my channel. I hope you've enjoyed it, mate. Leave a comment, give us a thumbs up, and tell a friend. Subscribe, yeah. Easy Pod, I've got has a UV. Yeah, I thought they did. I thought there was easy. Is yours the easy? Is it the Easy Pod with the auto? Is it an auto cleaner? They have an auto cleaner on the Easy Pod as well. And I think, does that one come with the? Yeah, there's something that this one. Why did you modify your 3-barrel system from a tried and tested staggered configuration because you had an idea and wanted to see if it worked? Kind of walked into that one. Mine's not filter barrels. Mine's water butts. Three water butts, filter barrel system. But yeah, you're right, mate. I did. Yeah, well, yeah.
Proof of concept. Just see if it
I
would work.
wanted to understand as to why, and nobody said why. From all the videos I watched, nobody made any comments as to why it needed to be stepped, other than it don't work.
Because at the end of the day, stepping it is a ball. You've got to raise them up.
Yeah, and the main reason why I didn't want to be stepping them is because I didn't have enough room under my shelf.
Yeah.
Now I need to chop my shelf up and alter it. So but it is what it is. The older Easy Pods are without UV, right? So the new ones have them now fitted to them.
Obviously, the videos and then decided to take it on board.
Could I ask you a favour? Can I get some pop when you've done? I was going to just call that little puppy here, and you pinched him. Game Changer says, not sure if I'm running my Easy Pod wrong, but I've never had media jump out, so no need for mods. So maybe human error, not. My Easy Pod has a UV. Thank you. Best £50 I've spent. What, on an Easy Pod? That's a cheap Easy Pod.
Yeah, it must be a second-hand one.
3 versions of Easy Pods. Standard, no UV. Complete Easy Pod with UV and auto Easy Pod. Yeah. Cool. I thought it was. I thought they did an auto one. The original pods didn't have UV. Skaggy, why don't you read what other people have said before you type the same thing? Just about to get me on back there. Carol Horsey, just tried order a small packet of CT on your site. Won't go through. PayPal payment does. Business. There you go, Daz. I've got 3 retro vortexes are unmodified. I guess that's what I mean. He's not going on concede his point, is he? What you like, Gus? I don't know what you're talking about, mate. But I think it is. Just think it's weird out. There is a lot of modifications out there, isn't there? There's a hell of a lot of people.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me, guys. Thirsty as hell. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Since I had that laryngitis over a week, I felt like I've constantly felt dehydrated. I can't quench my thirst. What could help? What could help? What could help? What would help? Why? Because physics. Why? Because you can still get an EasyPod original. Yes, they have UVs fitted 19 watts. Carol says 18 watts. Carol says 19 and 18. Which one is it, Carol? They have a 19 or an 18? I think. So I'm guessing the ones that don't have them in still have the chamber for you to put them in.
Yeah.
It looks like it's the same mold, just not fitted.
Yeah, you have to drill the perfect size hole in to plumb it in, apparently. But when would you ever use an EasyPod without unless it's in a garage where there's no daylight? I mean, I can't see the practical application for that one.
No, me neither, mate. I mean, doesn't the ultraviolet? Oh no, that was the one that was it put in, which was amalgam. What's the other one?
Actinic.
Amalgam. Yeah,
like.
they're a lot stronger out there now. Apparently,
yeah, bacteria. Sterilizing bulb.
Yeah. Oh, hang about. We've got a 16. We got. Oh, God damn it. We got a laughing smile on the face from Corey Beginnings. I guess I was about 2 minutes. Had to pause. I found that really hard to try and catch back up when you paused. 15. I use separate UVs. Odd Carol, I'll go look something. Go look shouldn't be a problem. You can buy an add-on UV light for your EasyPod. It just screws in. Yeah. Mine has an unscrew cap for if you want to add a UV. So you could have bought a UV, Mike, to go in your EasyPods, and you chose to buy two separate ones that go externally bigger than what you needed. Just a little bit. Overkill. You missed the previous comment to what he could have helped one Gaz. Fish, either potentially swim bladder need help with what? Right. So I missed a comment. So somebody needs help with swim bladder. Yeah, there is no help for swim bladder. There is no cure for it. Well, there you go. There is none. There isn't a cure for swim bladder. They say that you can give them peas, say you can do all the rest of it. End of the day, the fish has got a deformed bladder, normally from either too deeper water levels, too cold a temperature, and normally 9 times out of 10, you can take the most effective thing is take it to vets. They take a little section, they either add air or they remove air, and it normally sorts out the balance. But it's done by a syringe straight through and into the bladder, and then it can still come back. So I have got one in my pond. It's been there now, laying on bottom of my pond for about 6 months. It's about to get one last chance and perhaps maybe bring it indoors where it's slightly warmer and see if the warmth brings it up. The water's pretty warm now. It's like at 17, 18, 19, 20 degrees, and it's still sat there. But the longer I'm leaving it, the more sores it's getting on its body because it's just skitting around on bottom of the pond all the time. So it's, yeah.
I'd probably say and it used to swim sideways on its side, go around in circles.
This is what she's doing. She's laying over on her side, and then when I put food in, she's upright and she comes, she gets some food, and then she just lays on her side. She hasn't come to the surface. She hasn't come up mid water for 4 months, 5 months. But other than a little rub mark on her side, and I'm talking really minimal, it is really, really minimal, less than maybe a scale or two, and she's only a small, she's only this sort of size fish, not a big fish. There's nothing wrong with her. So I can't, what's quality? What I think is quality is not necessarily what she thinks quality, and I don't want to,
Yeah.
that's not wrong with it.
Yeah.
Carol says 18. That's the new one, Mike, buddy. Old ones you have to drill a hole in.
Yeah, this was an old one I saw.
Yeah. My UVs are only 25 watts each, Kaz. Yeah, okay. There's nothing you can do when it comes to swim bladder issues. Thanks very much, Vince. I totally agree. It's one of them things, it just doesn't seem to ever get right again. No. It is, Vince, you're correct, mate. Which means it's UV. It's one of the new ones. Shame, as she's one of Keith's favourite. Yeah. What fish is it? Is it a koi? I did watch a koi doc video where, there you go. This is what I was talking about. But 9 times out of 10, mate, it comes back. And it's not liquid. It's a buoyancy bag of air. There's one at the front, one at the back. They take air in and out of the chamber. And as they draw, they inflate it and they deflate it. And that makes the fish rise and fall. But that's what they do, is they put a syringe straight through the body of the fish, straight into the bladder, and they remove the air out of the bladder, and then, or they inject some air into the bladder, which creates buoyancy, or whichever, up or down, whichever it needs, either add air or remove air. So I have seen it done, and it is quite effective. But the one I saw being done, it came back about 3 to 4 weeks later, and the fish was back up, floating on the top this time, the opposite way. Instead of it being on the bottom, it was floating on the surface, to the point where it got sunburn all on its side. Because
I saw that same video and it looked terrible, didn't it? Yeah. It kept drying out the surface of the fish.
Yeah, the fish, all its scales were it looked a right mess, didn't it?
He did, yeah.
Been Googling and done, have said salt baths, etc. So I might give that a try. There's one thing, mate. When you're pissing in the wind, you're always guaranteed to get a wet leg. But give it a go, bud, for your own peace of mind. But you're bound to get a wet leg. I've tried it. I've seen people try it. I've seen lots of videos of people trying it, and it doesn't seem to do anything. Gaz, can you remind? Yes. If you could all do us a favour, guys, everybody that's watching, if you could all start sending us a random message every now and again to remind me, to remind Daz, that needs to remind Mick, to remind Jeff, to remind Mike that he needs to check his pond. Yeah. Or he needs to feed his pond, or he needs to turn his UV back on his pond, or he needs to turn the tap off on his pond, because we've all been sending little reminders to each other this week. So if anybody gets a chance, just pop us a little reminder in. Stick us a little comment in. Remind Keith and Paula to tell Koi Beginnings, to remind Skegger to go check his internet connection to see why Carol's payment's not gone through. Got a sum, I'm guessing. Salt baths. That must have been something to do with that. Any other topics, Daz? Who's going to the Newark show? Let's have an all say aye if you're going. We are.
Yeah. Yes, we are.
Daz, Mick, Jeff. I think Skeggy's going. I think he said over there. Anybody else going? Anybody else? I've got KFC behind me, man. It smells so nice, and I can't eat it. I don't want to be that rude. I don't want to be that guy sat there, not meaning you was, Daz, but with the fingers and bones and giving it all that. So who's going to remind me? Oh, well, this is it. It's never ending, mate, because you just start the cycle back round where somebody has to remind Sid, to remind Mike, to remind Jeff, to remind Steve, to remind Keith, to remind Paula that she didn't show us the pine. Carol, all in stock. I have no idea why the tests all's fine here. Mike Yates says laughing face. Twisted says maybe, not 100% sure. Be nice to see you, mate. If you are, cool. We're gonna have I'll have a natter and a wander around together. I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait to be getting down there and seeing what's going on, see what's on offer. I'm looking forward to it because I know the Newark Showground is a massive place. So this could be a big event because it's a huge place.
Yeah,
there's certainly got plenty of room.
It's massive.
There's normally when there's some kind of event on at the Newark, but I've seen stuff going on there before. They normally have other stuff going on around it as well. So hopefully there might be a little bit more to look at too. A goldfish, I had to start my pond off, had swim bladder problems. I had to smack it on the head, mate. Yeah. Other forms of sedation are available, but it's one way. It is one I would go with. What day? I think we're going on the Saturday, aren't we?
Yes, I think we are.
Saturday, I believe, mate. No, that would be disgusting. Don't eat it, mate. That would be disgusting. Don't eat it. Best thing for a goldfish. Best thing for a goldfish, which I'm guessing must be a smack on the head. Here we go with the butterfly kite. It's going to come. Mike, check your pond. Only an hour away. I'm going to try. Twister says, I'm going to try. Skeggy says, nope, I'm in Denmark. Oh, damn it. Twisted Koi says, Denmark? I mean, why go to Denmark? It just looks like UK. Looks the same, doesn't it? I did watch a video.
Colder and wetter.
Colder and wet. Now, apparently, they're very similar climates to what we've got. It's sorted, Daz. Payment's gone through. Ka-ching! There's another payment in the old piggy bank skegger. Now then, I am going to just do this because I did bang this in earlier, and I'm hoping that's the same one. This is Carol's link to Carol's channel. She was on 229. I'm going to give it a quick refresh and see if she's gone up any subscribers. And she's now at 231. If you guys could do us, anybody else watching, would do us a huge favor. Swing by Carol's channel, give her a like, give her a subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. Let's see if we can get up a couple more. But whilst you're there, please have a look at the fish that she has in her latest video. She's got a couple of issues, and if we can help her try and get this fish better, all 37 minds are far better than just one. So the more of us that are looking, we can all perhaps maybe share a little bit of experience and see if we can get that fish on the mend.
What's the channel called, Gaz?
What's the what?
Channel called?
The channel's Carol Lawsett.
Lysett.
Lysett. Is it Lysett? Sorry, my bad. Carol Lysett. The link's there, mate. Obviously, you won't be able to click on that, but seems to have gone through. Seems to have gone through, Carol. Thanks from Skeggy. Has anybody? There we go. Gary says he's subbed. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, guys. If you could, oh, there you go. 233. They're shooting up already. Twisted Guy says he's already subbed. I'm already subbed as well, mate. I've been for quite some time. Any other topics you want to talk about, Naz? Thank you. This.
I'm just logging on to Carol's website, channel.
Just subbing onto that one. Nice one. It's I mean, one is to get her up in her subs because she deserves it. And the second one being is to try and see if we can help with a fish. So when you can, if you can, whenever you would, Phil, or whenever you want to do, whiz by, check out and have a look at that video, guys. See if there's anything that you can shed any light on. See if we can help get this fish right. It was a Kaku. It's now turned into a Shuramuji, but she has got a couple of issues with it and would like to see if she can get everything back. Yeah.
Oh, bless.
Sub for Carol. Life Around the Koi Pond says subscribed. And that puts you up to 234, Carol. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get you a little bit of info as well. And while we're on the topic of talking about subscribing, if you could all do me a huge favour, there's 34 at present in the stream. Hit that thumbs up, guys. If you're new and you've enjoyed our little chinwag, we normally have a couple more people on. He's normally Mick Lawson, but like I say, he's actually away on holiday, and I hope he's enjoying it, and I hope he's having a nice, good rest. Deserves a good break with what he was being through and what he was going through the week prior.
Saturday, won't we, guys?
Yeah, we'll see him on Saturday. He does seem a lot better, guys. He is, compared to how we all saw him the week before and the week prior to that. He is seriously on the road to a good, quick recovery and on the mend, which is great to see. Got to go. Nice speaking. Thank you, everyone, and thank you so much. My pleasure, Carol. All the very best. I will have a look at the video myself, and I will have see what we can see. We'll watch it between us collectively, and we'll see what we can come up with for you, Carol. If we can help, we will. Speak soon. Take care. Any other topics, mate, that you want to touch on?
Grading on Saturday, aren't we, again?
Yeah, we are. We've got...
so any of the local lads that want to pop down and do a bit of grading, Mike Bass and...
Mike can't make it. He did send me an email. He's actually away on... I forgot to tell you. I'm sorry, Mike. If you're still watching, buddy, I apologise. I didn't reply back to you, but I did get your email. He can't make it on that particular day because he's away elsewhere, but he can reschedule for another one, which you're down there all the time, Mike, so we can definitely get something sorted 100%.
And Kiri Coy, what's his name?
Brett. I'm going to let Brett know.
Yes.
I'll let Brett know. I'll send him a message. I've got his number. I'll let him know if he wants to, if he's interested and wants to come down and do a bit more. Kyle, McAcoy, because he's now changed the Macca, because his daughter is going to be called, his daughter to be is going to be called Autumn. So he's changed his channel name and a new intro, guys. Check it out. What used to be Max Coy is now McAcoy. For his new little girl when she comes, hopefully, in and around the 24th of this month. If you are interested, mate, and you want to come, jump on. I'll drop you a text. I will send you a message, mate, let you know. But if you're interested and you want to come down on Saturday, that's me inviting people randomly to Dazzers. Anybody else want to come? We've got, let's just quickly catch back up with these. There we go. Night Carol from Cops's Coy. Thank you guys for the subs and bye for now. How do you learn how to grade, Daz? How do you learn how to grade? Well, the thing is, it's
kind of
video, but it's more of a case. It's your own eye, mate. You're picking what you like, and these guys that we buy these fish from are doing the same thing. They're picking what they consider to be a top quality, top pattern fish. It's their eye that they're using to pick that selection, and in the hope that us, the purchasers, the punters out there, like what they saw in that fish. So there's no real grading.
Well, I look.
There is.
I mean, let's talk about it. What we personally look at in grading fish. For me personally, it's got to be an attractive fish, something unusual, something a bit different, and I have a right body shape as well. I mean, I know the Japanese say body shape first.
Yeah.
To me, colour and pattern comes first. I know a lot of people out there will say, "Oh no, that's not the way," but that's just the way I look at it personally. Now you all know.
See, I do look at it the opposite way. Yeah, I do look at it the opposite way to you. You go, oh, that's a nice fish. The first thing I do is look for deformities. If it's got any deformities, don't make any difference whether its pattern's nice or not. It's deformed. It's a cull. But that's where we agree to disagree. So we have a DAS box and a gas box.
We all bring different elements to the table.
It does,
and between the three of us, I mean, Mick is brilliant. He can see where a fish is going to go in, say, 2 years' time, and what pattern is going to come through that I would never even notice. I wouldn't realise that. So he brings elements, and between the three of us, we will assess a fish, and those three combined opinions will denote whether that fish is a keeper or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's a good thing.
I think to be fair, Daz, what you're saying there between me, you, and Mick, that's let's say, for example, we spotted those tiny, and these were tiny guys. I mean, we're talking like 2.5 cm, and we looked at me and Daz, and I said, Daz, look at that. It looks like a miniature, full-scaled, armored-scaled mirror.
Yeah.
As it happens, guys, it's turned into a fully armored scaled. Now, there is a proper name for that. What's it called again? Come on, Mick. Stick it in. It's got a name. I've seen you just come in there and say hello. What's it called? It's got a name. When they're a fully scaled, big scaled armored fish.
Yeah. It's a bit like Arioki, is it, or something?
That's it. I think that's it, Arioki. Some Arioki scaled or something like that. Something similar to that. And we spotted these fish, tiny little things. And we were like, yeah, but it's so small.
Yeah, I didn't even think they'd make it.
Yeah, so we were like, yeah, it's such a beautiful fish. And we found about 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah.
So we tossed them back in and said, let's give them another chance. We'll see what they do, see what they become. And I've got to admit now, guys, they've actually started growing. And they are stunning. They are beautiful.
Yeah.
But they're not mirror carp at all. They're
actually an achiever.
And they're achievers, yeah. And they're absolutely beautiful. Absolutely stunning fish. We have got photos of them, and I will show them at some point, but not this evening because I'm going to have to go into another program to do it. But yeah, I would say that's a fair assessment. We've got this time what we're going to do on this particular one, because we've had all the spawns from this last one, which was kind of all of us first go doing it all. We had all the fish in mixed varieties. So this time we're going to be we're going to be going through the spawn and the fry to grade out into categories, first of all. Then from the categories, we're also going to be pulling out deformities. And then that way, when it comes to the next stages of grading, as we go through the fish for patterns, we will be able to go through all the kahakus, all the sankey, all the showa, and so on and so on and so on. Providing we've got enough. We might have to go sankey showa together as a mix. We might have to go some, but just to narrow down those numbers, because when you're looking at 2,000 fish, man, it fries your head. It takes some doing.
And it makes your backache.
It does make your backache, mate, but 9 to 10, 12 hours just goes like that. And you think, we've just looked at thousands of fish and I'm still not bored of doing it. I could keep doing this all day long. Really could. It's brilliant. Yeah. So there you go, koi beginnings. Basically, body line, body style and shape and deformities is the first bit. As would say, patterns, colours and attractive appeal to the eye would be a second. Whereas Mick might say future development. So collectively, we all do pretty good.
Yes. I think it's a pretty well-rounded way of looking at it.
Mike says the 14th would be okay, though. Yeah. Kyle and Brett will be... Oh, yes, they are. You're right. Yeah, he did say... You're right, Vince. Sorry, mate. Trying to steal your guess. He did say... We spoke to him over there, and he did say that they were going down yours, mate. Sorry, I apologise. Forgot about that. Life round the... I'll get the tolling pin out, the rolling pin out. Don't be making any pies with that rolling pin afterwards. Mick Larson says, hi all, hope you're all well. How are you doing, mate? Hope you had a nice day, bud. Kids, wife and family enjoying their holiday. Have you any advice on YouTube video making? I think I'm struggling a bit, mate. Honestly, mate, my best advice to anybody, sounds like I'm no pro, mate, at all. Content. Film what makes you happy. Film what you're doing. Film what you're happy doing. Film it all. Yeah.
that'll come across then, that your enthusiasm.
Yeah, film the things that you enjoy doing about pond keeping, about looking after your fish, about your pond, about your garden. For example, you could just do a little bit of your fish feeding and bang some music to the background and just sit there and let people watch and because a lot of people enjoy videos and different ideas, different things. Some people want to just see everything all about bills. People want to see pond bills. People want to see filter bills. People want to see, pond maintenance. People want to see pond treatments. But whichever one that you're going with or whichever one you're doing, try to get as best as detailed and as showcased footage as you can. But most of all, mate, have fun doing it. If you ain't enjoying it, there ain't no point in doing it. That's the biggest tip I can give you. The second biggest tip is relax. Show yourself, get involved with your audience, and talk to people as if you're talking to your mates, i.e., like we are now. I'm talking to you like I know you all. I don't really know any of you, but the more you do it, the more easier it becomes. And give yourself a focal point on your camera to look at, and always focus upon that point. Not like me when I'm talking to Daz and I'm doing this, but that's because my camera's down here and I'm talking to you now. When I'm talking to Daz, I'm looking here so it looks like I'm talking to Daz. So that when we're having a conversation, we look like we are. When I'm trying to talk to you, I'm looking here at you. Keeping your ideas fresh is, mate, that's a difficult one. Getting your content out there and trying to get out as much as you possibly can. And if it flops, it flops. Don't be disheartened by it. If it booms, mate. Sometimes you'll get these big videos where you'll get them out there and you'll do thousands and thousands of views and you'll think, well, why did that silly little video get so many views? It's just what people like. It's just what people are interested in. It's just what people are searching. There is no right and wrong. Enjoy it, mate. That's the main thing. Enjoy making content and have fun doing it. That's the best tip I can give you. Whether I'm right or wrong, it's what I'm doing and it's what makes me continue doing it. So we can all put out the same videos. I mean, you could watch every other channel out there and say, oh, what video did they do this week? And copy it next week. But it's same old. I mean, everybody gets fed up at the same thing and then they drift away. Michael, wavy face, wavy hand from Mr. Mick Mac. Evening, Mick. I'm looking for a Benny Kikikuru. I think you should go Benny Ginger instead because they're nicer. Yeah. And you'll struggle to find a nice one of them because there's not many of them about.
Good examples of both are hard to find.
Yeah, Benny Kikikuru's hard to find a bit. Well, yeah, they are more difficult to find. Either Daz has just slipped off or so he's just snatched him.
Sorry, no, I just cold.
Are you still feeling a bit iffy?
Yeah, I actually get a cold in the middle of this heat wave.
Yeah, it's one of them things, mate, isn't it? Do you get a little bit under the weather? Oh,
Scottish air, that's what's done it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Well, I won't go there. I'm Mike from Life Around the Koi Pond. Life Around the Koi Pond. Koi Beginnings top tips. Talk shit and record it. Job done. Pretty much, mate. That's what everybody else is doing. The only thing with grading by colour and patterns such early is it's highly likely it will change so much as it grows. Well,
not necessarily. No, that's minimal.
It depends what you mean by. If you've got a fish that's this size and it's showing all its colours, 100% it's going to change, mate. But those aren't the fish you're picking. You don't pick the fish with the development there and then at this size.
You're talking more shower.
Coming development, yeah. For future.
It's like Sankey and such. Most of the colour is already defined at an early age.
Yeah. And you can
fish, Matsu shower that change dramatically.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got lots of Matsu Kawabakis I didn't even know I got. They look like Ginrin.
They look like Ceregoys at the beginning, didn't they? A lot of them.
Sorry, boys on Jags.
Ceregoys would just.
You get a white patch
Right.
And before you know it, he's spread over 3/4 of the body.
Yeah. That's, I mean, as for example, your kahaku's patterning comes up quite 4 to 5, 6 weeks. You can see it.
Yeah, when 2 inches,
you can
you've
see
got a
it
good
by,
idea.
and you've got an idea of what it's going to be and what it's going to look like. Now, if that fades out and loses it as it develops, and that's one of them things. I mean, a tan show is technically the worst kahaku that exists because all the rest of the red that was there has faded anyway.
Yeah.
So, prime example. You're right, what you're saying, Si. Some of it does do, but the vast majority don't. But what you got to remember is when you're grading through, you need to be looking at thinking throughout your whole spawn that you're only probably going to end up with 10%, maybe 20% of that spawn making the grade.
Yeah. And going back to body shape, what I found happened when you've got them in a fry tank to start with, your flow is going to be a lot less. So you do get some pudgy little fish that put some weight on. Now, when I move them on, when they get to about 3 inches, I move them into a bigger tank with a more powerful pump, more flow. The body changes considerably. So all this about choose body shape over everything else. They're not. It's not cut and dry as it sounds.
You don't want one that's bent like that, though, do you? You know, you don't want one that's pinched at its gills. You don't want one that's flat out of its lips. I mean, there are certain body shape elements that you need to drop out.
Yeah.
But it is, like I said, when they're in a small body of water and they're growing fast, they do tend to get a bit barrel shaped, plump little podges. But you bang them in a bit of flow again, and that drops off. It seems to get growth. We got Graham Taylor says, Nick. We got Hills that says, hi all.
Hi, Elsie.
And you was right, Daz. Karaoke. Bit like karaoke. Hi, Hilsley from Life Around the Koi Pond. Daz, because you enjoy it and you are not heavily on profit, do you find yourself giving Fry more of a...
Yes.
Right, I'll give you an example. We've had a 5-step kahaku that 5 times I've tried to turn this fish out, and Daz has rescued it every time. It has been in the bargain bucket 5 times, and Daz has come on and gone, oh, what's up with that 5-step there? It's got a little bit of twist to its tail, Daz. But it's not too bad, is it? Back out it comes. Back out it goes. 5 times. So yeah, it definitely does.
I'm ever the optimist.
First few selections are purely body shape. Well, yeah. Depends what you're going for though, Vince, doesn't it? If you were doing a shower spawn, you'd just be picking all black ones.
Yeah.
That's your first selection on a shower. Pick all the black. Everything else is Sankey or Kahaku or other writers.
Yeah.
Jeff Lees, and I net them guys this week. You're all about the digging. Agreed, Vince. Body shape and deformity. Well, then again, you're both just being educated there, aren't you? Because it's not always, is it? It depends what you're going for. 4 to 5 weeks. If you were going for a Sankey's or if you were going for your shower, and that's all you were wanting. I mean if you didn't want anything else and you were just doing a shower grading, everything else you'd be chucking out. But it depends what as we are doing it and as you are doing it and as Skeggy or Vince would be doing it, we're picking everything because potentially to us, we want to grow them all on because they've all got the potential. But if you were doing commercial and you were literally doing a mud pond full of
you've got super high standards.
Picking all the black out first, and that's what they do. Well, on the videos that I've seen, that's what they do anyway. And Vince says, film everything within reason. Don't make YouTube suicide. Because some people film some things that, quite obviously shouldn't have been shown.
Yes.
100% Gaz. I keep getting copyright issues regarding music. Yeah, it's because on YouTube, but I pay for NCH, and that music is that software. Any ideas? Well, unless you're putting links and tags to the producer of said music and the artist, you will do. You need to add a link, and you need to add the artist's title to the music for every video that you use. You will get copy strikes against you, and you're only allowed so many, mate. Wherever you're not monetized, it doesn't really make a difference. But when you become monetized, you will lose your monetization because of it. So 3 strikes, and they can close your channel down. So stop using monetized music. There are tons and tons of music out there that YouTube provides you with. All right, you've got to go through a fair lot of it, but there is some good music on there, some little tunes and stuff that you can use that are copyright free. There are Ben sounds that you can go on to get copyright free music, but you'll have to pay for a subscription, such as, do a bit of research on it, mate. If you're not putting tags and links to NCH and the artist, you will get struck for copyright because they have the rights to that music, and you're not saying it's their music. So always add the tags. Just concentrate on subscribers you have, and the rest will come in time. Yeah, 100%. Play to your audience. I mean, don't let me talking like I know what I'm really on about, and I'm still not even made 1,000 subscribers myself. But play to your audience. Let them see what you're doing. The more content you put out, the more YouTube will eventually share your channel. You will have peaks where it rises and it drops and it falls and the rest of it. All I will say to you is go on to YouTube and watch all the information from YouTube itself on how to produce a good video, how to do this, how to do that. Watch all the how-to videos. Them in themselves will help you a great deal. There are other things and stuff out there, but if I tell you them all, mate, you just race straight past me, and I'll sat here asking you how you did it. Thanks for the video advice, guys. My pleasure, mate. Benny Kikikuru is harder to find. It is harder to find a good one. Yeah, mate. Does it also come down to bloodline? Toy Beginning says, does it also come down to bloodline? I do believe it does, mate.
Yeah.
100%. Well, obviously it does. I mean, if you were breeding from deformed fish, you're only going to, in my opinion, throw deformed fish and more problems with the fish. Yeah. But definitely does. Last time on Daz's particular spawn, he had what was a mixed spawn, a wild flock spawn.
Flock spawn.
Yeah, flock spawn, where they were all involved in it. Now, there weren't so many deformities, but there were some random varieties, and there were quite a lot of fish that were like, what's this? But
yeah,
now, when you look at them, like the Akamatsubas, wouldn't have known they were Akamatsubas, mate. I would have had no idea that they were an Akamatsuba. But now looking at what they look like, that they get into some size, the cherry reds are quite obviously we know what we're looking for, because now seeing them growing up bigger, you can see what they were before, as they've gone through the stages. But this time he's done specific spawn sets, which seem to have produced better quality, don't they?
Yes, a lot purer fish.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get to.
But having said that, there's still some weird and wonderful fish that I have no idea what they are.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of koi, mate, isn't it? Because if you've got some random
fraction of it, that's what really gives me a
nice. What we need to try and find out, what we need to try and do, is isolate whichever one it was that produced that, so you can produce it again. That's difficult.
Yeah.
What koi did you recommend instead of a Benny Kikikuru? I said a Benny Ginger, and our Benny Ginger is supposed to be a fish that represents the stars and galaxies. Apparently, somewhat along them lines. That's the description of it. I have one in my pond. It's probably my favourite fish, to be fair.
It's a beauty.
Vince, god damn, mate, that fish. It's getting achiever brown now all over the head. All the head's almost gone completely white, all of the head. And now it's getting brown coming up everywhere. So it's going to end up with a nice achiever brown head with, yeah, it's something else. It's looking different. Yeah. A Benny Ginger cushion. Yeah. Tested koi. I have 31 subscribers. Is it best to ask for subscribers at the start of the video or at the end of the video? I honestly, mate, I don't know. I mean, what you've got to do is you've got to ask people if they're enjoying the content. If they are, feel free to subscribe. I mean, asking people to subscribe might not necessarily be the right way because it might sound like you're begging. But at the end of the day, if you don't ask, you never know, do you? So it could be, and people could see it different ways, mate. I suppose it's one of them. Just enjoy putting your content out. Enjoy doing what you're doing, and those people that you're doing it for already, put the content out to them and talk to them as if they're there in garden with you, and it's somebody that you've been speaking to for weeks, months, years, as you would do every family member. Don't try to make it all super duper fantastic. Just relax and enjoy it. That's best advice I could give. Thanks. Says Cushy. Oh, sorry. Mike says thumbs up. That is totally down to you as a person. Do what feels best for you, mate. Yeah. Doing shorts will help as well, mate. Doing shorts will do absolutely nothing towards your monetization. They aren't recognized as part of monetization. So they will get you zero revenue at all. They will get people coming to your videos and coming to your channel, which will encourage them in, but you won't make anything from them. Unless it's to show out Shuru. I always get that wrong. Thanks, Twisted Koi. And I mean, yeah. Content, mate. Content. The more content you put out, the more subscriptions you get. Get a good project. Whatever good project you decide you're going to do, go with it, roll with it, and film it all. Make it into, like keeping it going. 642 episodes of Making a Pond. Because that's about the only content that was there. Arbinia, thumbs up.
Evening, Davey.
Davey from Skeggy, from Twisted. Evening, Davey from Skeggy. Evening, Big Grin. Vince, thumbs up. Who are you referring to, Gaz? Cupcake question. Who are you referring to? Don't know. With what, mate? Referring to with what? You've lost me there. Benny Kumonru, not Kikikuru. Benny Kumonru. You lost me there, mate. Seen some stunning kin shower tonight. Was very tempted. Yeah, I like them too, mate. I would like a nice shower. I really would.
Yeah, me too. That's one thing I haven't got.
Yeah. But saying that though, Daz, I weren't all that.
I have. I've got a Shintaro shower.
You have, yes. Yeah. You have got a grown shower, haven't you?
Nice. Yeah.
I've never been too bothered about Sankey. But now more so. I'm changing my mind on them. Especially with Randy's a really nice fish. He's turned out lovely, hasn't it? I mean, he is. The patterns on him. If I could have a fish like that, I would be well happy with a Sankey like that. And the Ginrin Sankey that you got the other week. Now she don't look at lump as well, because she did look like a barrel, didn't she, when you bought her? Now when she spawned, she looks a stunning fish.
Yeah.
But
there's some absolute pearlers of Ginrin Sankeys. I saw 2 yesterday, and I thought, oh my god, if they grow up big as they are now, they'll be amazing.
Yeah, this is a thing, mate. We need to go. Well, we will be doing. We need to be going through that and having a look at them all and seeing just what they've got.
And there's some nice Deutz ones as well.
Ooh, see, yeah, I hope, yeah.
I'm going to get myself a shower or a Sankey.
David,
Shower.
you don't think there's any shower? You mainly
There might be one or two. There's some all blackfish still with a bit of grape showing on them. Now, whether they're going to turn to shower or whether they are Becco of some description, I'm not sure.
The pup's on his way out again. Spare me 1 second. I'll have a look at him when he comes back in. If that's all right.
Yeah. We need to get the outside lights sorted as well. I didn't yet. I was waiting for that. Shocked you didn't. We haven't had bullshit statement of the week yet. Quick, Skeggy, you can be the first. We have. In fact, what I should have done is I should have put it in when Vince said he's running 2 easy pods. So hang on. When Vince said you run 2 easy pods without any modification, this is for that. That was bullshit statement of the week because he lied. There you go, Skeggy. We've had it. And this week you've been picked to your title. You've actually had that for 5 weeks on trot. It's not too late, Vince. You would love them, mate. The right money as well. Now then, here we go. This is.
Oh.
There we go. This is. Check it out, everybody out there. Sonny Jim.
Bless him.
This is the new little bundle of joy. And it is an absolute little star, as good as gold.
Oh.
It's his little treat there for going out. He's doing really good, to be fair. He's doing really well. Wow. That didn't waste time, did it? Come on then.
Oh, he's gorgeous. Like a teddy bear.
He actually is. For a puppy, he's proper placid.
Yeah.
You can see your biscuit, yeah.
There's a food monster.
Oh.
You're going mad, my KFC.
Yeah.
You can smell chicken.
But he's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, he's not doing pretty good. He's doing very good. To be fair, we're properly impressed. Right? Very clever. Very, very clever. I've never had a dog come home on day one and literally on day one being able to teach him to sit. And he's picked it up. Oh yeah, the staffies were good, but I mean, I don't think. Look at this. Not quite that fast.
It's all in the train.
Yeah, it's me.
So there you go. The wife saying it's all her.
Yeah, well, he's that train, well, he's sat there, and you go.
Well, we've got to do what's got to be done, and what's got to be done right now is Pheasant Night Live. But this
Training didn't work on you though, Gaz, did it?
Yeah, camera's here. Sonny.
He's dropped a biscuit.
You dropped a biscuit, haven't you? His nose is proper. Your nose is proper good. It's on the floor. How can you smell that from up here? There we go. There he is.
Oh, he's gorgeous, Gaz.
Sonny. Right then, you little tyke. Off you go.
Let him get that biscuit.
I'll get that biscuit for him because he's probably going to find it anyway.
It's behind it's by your foot.
There it is. How can you smell that down there?
Come on, buddy. Come on.
Go on then.
Come on, Sonny.
There you go. There's little Sonny.
He's scared of it.
Can't wait to see him.
I don't think he likes PC chair.
Good boy.
Get used to it. But he's absolutely fantastic. Brilliant. Well chuffed with him. Really super happy with the people that we got him from for doing a fantastic job. My daughter's is doing really good as well. She sent us a little picture in today, Daz, a little video of him. He's sat in the washing basket. And my grandson sat in the washing basket, and the pup comes along, puts his paws on his back, and turns around and he's giving little lad a lick and a bit of a have a look at him, and then it almost looks like the dog's trying to push the little one in the basket, and they're proper playing together, really interacting with each other. Him being 15, 16 months, and the pup being 9 weeks on Sunday, it was nice to see the two interacting and having fun, laughing and giggling at each. Well, even laughing at the dog and then the dog playing along with him. It's nice to see it. What was this one? You must have purchased 50 koi so far this year. Tony Barker says, Black Country Koi, you've been spending. Tony purchased nearly 50 in one hit the other week. Wow. Dave, I've been yet. Do tell, David. I'm shocked you would say such a thing. This is a general conversation between these guys. Get a room. Copy. I find getting a decent Benny Kumunru harder to find than a Benny Kikikuru. I hope I pronounced that right.
Yeah, you just don't see Kumunru of any description, really.
Yeah. You okay, Tony? Sankeys. Not like Sankeys, Vince.
Oh.
Getting there, Dave.
Vince.
I've got a Benny Kumunru, and all the Sumi has dropped off. I almost as bad as bloody abominations. I knew that one was going to come. Almost as bad as a flutterby koi. Butterfly koi. I'm going to speak butterfly in Vince. I'm going to sneak a butterfly in Vince's pond. I think you should. Sneak. And then Vince says, like, fuck you, Skegger or Skegster. If your missus can train you guys, she can train you. Oh, mate, she's never trained me. Go ask her. She'll quite definitely tell you that's not the case. I'm definitely not trained. I'm feral. Brilliant, KB. Hi, guys. Just popped in to say hello. I've had a long drive in the morning. I have a long drive in the morning, and we'll catch up later then. How was that fish doing, mate? Because I know, again, you need to look on your next video because you've got one out. You've got one out. I think everyone drops the videos just before my lives go out, so I can't get to watch them. I actually did come in, though, this evening and literally just hit sofa and said, I'm exhausted. I laid back like that, had my legs out straight and crossed, and I woke up, could barely even move my legs because I'd been sat in the same place for that long because I had a power nap. I had a granddad nap. I officially can say that now, being a granddad. I have 2 Kumunru and a Benny Kikikuru. Oh. What's the one, Vince, that Kyle's coming to get? What do you reckon that is? Do you reckon that's, I mean, obviously it's an Achiever of some description, but do you think the Achievers are kind of Achievers cross Kumunrus? With the way that they're changing the colour drops and the colours coming in and out of them all over the place. I'm thinking there's something definitely in the mix of that lot. Right. That's got us to the quick end of them comments. I think. Oh, no. Benny Kumunru. There you go. I can't think of anything else this evening, unless anybody else out there has got anything they want to talk about, anything they want to share with us, anything they would like to bring up as a topic for anybody else to discuss or for us to discuss. It's an Achiever. Yeah. Does it have a little bit of it's got a little bit of a colour coming in it as well? Definitely does have something in it, mate, doesn't it? It's an Achiever. You could have something there, guys. I'm wondering if it's like an Achiever stroke Kumunru cross kind of thing, because it's an Achiever, David. An odd. How do you pronounce that? Odd Achiever, David. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure that one of mine has definitely got some Kumunru in it because I've never known a fish. Literally, that fish has changed in
in 2 weeks to one colour, and back over the last 2.5 to 3 weeks now changed to another colour. So
Yeah, that's crazy the amount of times that's changed.
I love it though, mate. I think that's brilliant. I mean, if I could hope, if perhaps not all of them, but if a few more did that, and your fish randomly change different patterns like that, and you enjoyed looking at them do that kind of thing, I'd be super happy with that, because I like that kind of how it goes on. It's a butterfly koi, Gaz, admit it.
Chameleon boy.
I do have a butterfly. A Chiba stroke Matsukawa Bake. Yeah. Yeah, it could be.
I'll go with that.
Yeah. It's a butterfly koi, Gaz, admit it. And then you must have a sweet filter on, Gaz, because Vince reply doesn't show. It must have a sweet filter on, Gaz, because Vince's reply doesn't show in the chat. Which reply?
All of the ones being filtered out.
Oh, have I got? Has there been some swear, not sweet? Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's 100% for sure. It's for sure 100%, guys. Swear, not sweet. That's a Kawabaki. Is a scaled Kumonru. Is it really?
Oh.
I didn't know that. So is a Kumonru Deutsch then?
Yes, yeah, always Deutsch, I think.
Always Deutsch, right? Cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So technically, I have got right.
Yeah. My favourite is the black and white.
That is pretty cool. I didn't know that. Before you go, guys, I'll get this one out. Time to go. Thanks for the help, advice, and feedback. Catch you soon, guys. Take it easy, Jamie. Catch you later. Koi Collector.
Cheers,
Time
Jamie.
to call it a night. Cheers, gents. Thank you very much for joining us, mate. I hope to see you again on the next one. And to be fair, as it is 22:03, I probably think we've exhausted most of the topics that we wanted to talk about. And we did say we were winging it for a little bit. I think we had some pretty good topics brought up there and a pretty good chat with everybody else. And as usual, Kumonru is Doitsu. Yeah, Daz just said, beat to it. Vince, I didn't know that, mate. That's pretty cool. So, yeah, could be a Kumonru Chiba mix then. That's what I've got. The way it's changing, it would make you definitely think towards that. Yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
Right. There's a few more comments coming in. Let's see if we can get these in just before we do the usual thing. So, from myself, Kaz, and from Daz, thanks very much all for tuning in and joining us this evening. It's been a blast. It's a pleasure every time. Thanks all for coming back, and for all those new people that come in and all the new subscribers, thanks very much. Do us a huge favor, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and until next time, guys, keep smiling, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks all.
Thanks.
Good night.
Take care.
Take care all. We'll get these quick ones in. Great night again, guys. Thanks, guys. Night, guys. Well, that was different. Night, guys. Give me an email when you guys want. Reschedule a visit. We'll do, bud. Speak to you soon. Later, guys. See you all in a bit. See you on the next one.
Cheers.